Baltimore Raven. Once upon an evening dreary, while Raider Nation pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and confounding volume of Raiders' lore, while we nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at our stadium door. "'Tis some visitor," we muttered, tapping at our stadium door, only this and nothing more. Distinctly we remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate light wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly we wished the morrow, vainly we sought to borrow from our books surcease of sorrow from last season's score, for the 2020 season wrought only to us a lost score, lost here forevermore. And the somber, sad, uncertain, flickering Allegiant Stadium light for certain thrilled us, filled us with fantastic dreams never felt before, so that now to still the beating of our hearts we stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at our stadium door, some late visitor entreating entrance at our stadium door, this it is and nothing more." Presently our soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said we, "or madam, surely your forgiveness we implore. But the fact is we were napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at our stadium door, that we scarce was sure we heard you. Here we opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into that darkness peering, long we stood there wondering, puzzling, doubting, dreaming dreams no Raider fan ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only words were spoken was the whispered words, "To war." This we whispered, and an echo murmured back the words, "To war." Merely this, and nothing more. Back to our volume we went reading, a wind we found ourselves craving. Soon again we heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said we, "surely that is something at our lanai door. Let us see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let our heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the autumn wind, and nothing more." Open here we flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a Baltimore Raven of football days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with treachery and shadily perched front our lanai door, perched upon the Al Davis torch just before our lanai door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling our cautious fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, "Though thy crest be shone and shaven, thou," we said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raving, wandering from the desert shore? Tell us if thou art friend or foe of this night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the Baltimore Raven, "Nevermore." Much we marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird before their lanai door, bird or beast upon their sculptured torch before their lanai door, with such an answer as "Nevermore." But the Baltimore Raven, sitting lonely on the sculpted torch, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he muttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till we scarcely more than muttered, "Other teams have come before. On the morrow defeated you will leave us, as our hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said we, "what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy owner whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope the melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore." But the raven still beguiling all our fancy into smiling, straight we stood in front of bird and torch and door. Then, while our eyes stared unblinking, we betook ourselves to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking "Nevermore." This we stood engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into our pirate core. This and more we stood divining, with our head back reclining at the ceiling where the light gloated o'er. But past glory we long haven't seen the lighting glowing o'er. Glory we wish shall press, possibly nevermore. Suddenly the air grew denser, a shadow did the raven render, cast towards us upon the stadium floor. "Wretch," we cried, "thy good Dale hath sent thee, a loss thou hast brought me, respite, respite thy poison of defeats galore. Oh, damn, damn this night, and cast this loss out our door." Quoth the Baltimore Raven, "Nevermore." "Prophet," said we, "thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether punisher sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell us truly, we implore, is there hope for this season? Tell us, we implore." Quoth the Baltimore Raven, "Nevermore." "Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend," we shrieked upstarting. "Get thee back into the tempest, and leave this night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave our record unbroken. Quit the torch before our door. Take thy beak from out our hearts, and take thy form away from our door." Quoth a voice behind us, "Nevermore." The raven started flapping, its panic beak was snapping, Al's torch ignited with flames like none before. Darkness engulfed the stadium, from the torch was its atrium. A horror behind us stepped out, beckoning the cries we implore. A ghostly raider, was this wraith beckoning the cries we implore? Was it he that quoth, "Nevermore"? The skeletal raider breathed a cold sigh. The raven shadow did fade awry. The autumn wind blew into the stadium, by malevolent intent it bore. "Bury their light," the voice again quoth. The voice in darkness made our feelings sloth. We watched the raven silently shriek and fell on the stadium floor. Eyes meeting eye, its soul out of the darkness, then laid on the stadium floor. Quoth Raider Nation to the Baltimore Raven,